100% crank.
In what format?
Every format. See, for the longest time, everyone said Wizards needs to support Commander. So, okay.
They went all in with that.
They did. Said Wizards needs to support Commander. It's like, you're going to say Wizards need to support Commander, but you ain't going to like it because they're going to support Commander, but you better bloody well believe they're going to monetize it.
Yep.
Commander Legends for Baldur's Gate, Double Masters 2022, having more Commander cards in Double Masters 2022 than in Baldur's Gate. You can't tell me that in the D&D world of Baldur's Gate, there's not a dock at Waterdeep where a little dude extorts people. Dockside Extortionist was a perfect fit for Battle of Baldur's Gate. They did not put it in Battle of Baldur's Gate. They put it in Doubles 2022. Why? Because why not shove a more exciting card in our set where we can sell packs for twice as much? In reality, they're paying the same card's worth 5 cents to them. Doesn't matter. This is why I will forever die on the hill that eventually, they are going to get rid of the reserve list.
They're going to get what?
I believe they will eventually get rid of the reserve list. I firmly believe it.
They'll reprint all those cards?
I mean, they already are. They already are.
I guess you're right.
They already are.
Yeah.
Before the 30th anniversary edition, you had the stuff with the Dominaria United boosters, the collector's boosters, where they were putting legacy pieces in it. So I'm going to tell you from a production standpoint, if the future league plays sets like years in advance to make sure everything's stable, the printing and logistics of stuff like that are years in the making. So you don't just accidentally find 3 crates of Legends and just start shoving Tabernacles in. Like Randy Buehler and Melissa DeTora didn't start stuffing Tabernacles into packs 5 weeks before the stuff went out. Now,
and that probably means that those aren't old cards. Those are printed recently, right?
Well, I believe that they are old. But I also believe that they've been planning this stuff for a while back. Because eventually, a skid of stuff is going to get lost. And when Hasbro did their full acquisitions manifest, they found it and they're like, what's this? Well, this is stuff we can't really ship because of the reserve list. And I promise you, someone at Hasbro said, what's the reserve list?
Yeah.
Well, it's a promissory estoppel that we had to do about 35 years ago. And they're like, oh, you sweet summer child, you're printing these. You're making these. But promissory estoppel, yeah, promissory estoppel. I promise you that Hasbro has a cafeteria of lawyers who don't care. Come get something. They'll be like Ash in Army of Darkness. Oh, you want a class action? Come get some. They will have any poor schmuck drowning in red tape before they ever make it to a courtroom. Because even vintage Magic players want players to have access to these cards. Vintage Magic YouTubers, Vintage Magic, who's one of the biggest YouTubers in the world for Vintage and Legacy, he wants people to have access to these cards.
I think Rudy might disagree.
Yeah, Rudy might disagree because it's going to hurt Rudy's bottom line.
Yeah.
But I'm talking about, and to an extent, I will publicly say, Rudy has a right to do what he wants to do. It's
a business, I respect.
regardless of moral, amoral, however you want to put it, it's a business action that resulted in a business eventuality. He did a thing, and tons of money was made for it. He set a bunch of cards on fire. He made a bunch of money for it.
What?
He had a promo from Legend Story Studios for Flesh and Blood. Yep, they gave it to him. And he said, I'm selling all these at this much on my Patreon. And if you don't buy them by midnight, I'm burning whatever ain't bought.
He did it live?
Yep. Yep.
So, what came of that?
Those cards that everyone bought completely skyrocketed because now there's even less than there were to start with.
Well, I mean, he has a record of doing stuff like that. The things that he says, I've noticed. I mean, I don't keep up with pricing and stuff that much anymore. But when I would notice that he would say something about some modern deck or some legacy combo, and all of a sudden those cards would shoot up $100.
Well, and I mean, you even see that now. Like there was a legacy deck called Pirate Stompy that what they were doing is people were posting Reddit threads about a new legacy deck when the Pirates of Ixalan came out. And so what they were doing is they were posting it and they were not able to they were shutting the arena they were shutting the Moto client down before the tournaments were over, so nothing could get posted, and then trying to spike up like random like pirate cards out of Ixalan that weren't good and just making deck. So we got Greasefang right here off of Yugo. So Dalton has done his super fast, speedy thing. Now, here's the problem with Mono Green versus Abzan Greasefang. So in the graveyard, he has a Parhelion. As soon as he attacks with Parhelion, Parhelion's going to come into play with haste. It's going to swing. Parhelion's going to come in. Additional angel tokens are going to come in. All of that is flying over. So, like, Yugo's at 17, Dawn's at 11, and these angels are flying over. I don't even think that Old Growth Troll has reach to be able to stop the angels. Harkirn. No, it's trample. So this is the other thing about Abzan Greasefang. So Greasefang Akiba Boss, when it swings, you get to bring stuff out of the graveyard into play attacking. So what they typically do is they'll either use a Seeker's Chariot or they'll use Parhelion 2. And when Parhelion 2 attacks, you make 2 4/4 angel tokens. It's rough. Yeah, it's a rough time. It's not gonna lie. See, that's the thing, and so that's what I was saying about these formats. They're pushing these formats so hard now. I feel like eventually, I hate to say it, but I feel like eventually Legacy is going to be a thing of the past because they're pushing Modern into such a faster, more aggressive format. Modern will become the new Legacy. Pioneer will be the budget-friendly version of Modern, and then you're always going to have Standard. Because eventually, the other thing with the reserve list, Hasbro can't monetize reserve list. They can't monetize reserve list cards. Promissory estoppel. They don't have them. Everyone who has them has them. That's why they're doing these things. The biggest issue is sort of like what you were saying with Rudy. Like, it's a business decision, right? So it's no surprise that there have been tons of commentary, tons of Reddits, a lot of upset Magic players, right? Fussing about what's going on. Totally get it. And I agree. However, they're fussing and they're upset, but they're opening their wallets at the same time. They're putting the dollars on they're opening their wallets at the same time. They're complaining as they're putting the money on the table. Wizards accomplished a 10-year financial goal 7 years early this year by making $1.3 billion in a recession, in a post-pandemic, you call it post, I don't agree, but the people are like staying at home. Like, tournaments like this are not everywhere. They are more prevalent than they have been, but they're not everywhere. Still making money. Just making money hand over fist. I mean, I don't agree with it, but I mean, I still, regardless, it just like Rudy, I love watching his streams. I love watching his content. I think the way he presents himself on YouTube is like, I'll watch him. I think he's funny.
It's really entertaining.
Yeah, it's very entertaining, and I like that part of it. I don't think I could do what he does. I think very few people could. And I also think even fewer people have the guts to do what he does. Like, because he makes a decision and he does a thing. And it is what it is. And it's just like playing a game of Magic. Some people, they go all in and they swing. I'm going to make you have the kill spell, otherwise I'll win. But if you don't make that swing, you never know what they have in their hand. They could be sitting on lands. They could be sitting on nothing. So, it's when you look, people get very upset. I mean, I'm sort of frustrated because I would love to get a bunch of Infinity right now, and I'd love to get the Warhammer decks. I don't even play Commander, and I want the Warhammer decks just because I think the Warhammer decks are amazing.
So I bought 2 of them today.
Awesome.
I bought the Grixis one, the regular.
Okay, so the Ruinous Powers. Yeah, Ruinous Powers. Yep, Chaos.
And I played 3 or 4 games of it. Dude, the way Cascade triggers in that deck.
Dude, so here's my favorite part. Here's my favorite part about those Warhammer decks here. By the way, I don't want to say specifically come down here to Out of the Box to buy the Warhammer decks because I think we're nigh sold out or almost sold out. However, as soon as we get more Warhammer decks in, I will tell everyone, please come down to Out of the Box. Please buy the Warhammer decks because they are hilarious. And if anything else, you can listen to my sweet velvety tones as I just rattle off a bunch of random lore about every single card in the set. So, yeah, it's wild. Like, I don't play Commander. I don't play Warhammer. But I've watched 100 hours of lore videos about it. And I want them just to have them. I'll take them right out of the box, sleeve them up. And I bought, so the Game Knights, the guys who do the Command Zone, they had a Kickstarter for some really cool Game Knights deck boxes, like their duo deck boxes, with magnetized and everything. I'll just sleeve them up. Chaos in the Imperium, Tyranids in the Necron.
So
go.
I bought one of those collectors really off of the fact that I'm a member of a bunch of groups, trading.
Oh, sweet.
Groups.
Yeah.
And I saw a guy offering over $400 for one of those collector's sets. Like that?
We need to talk later.
Yeah.
We're talking later.
Yeah. But this guy was offering over $400 for those collector's sets, and I'm thinking, well, that is a nice chunk, but after they go out of print, I'm gonna trade that for something really nice.
Yeah, no doubt.
Because I have no want for an additional deck, and it's not leaving the box either.
Well, see, that's my thing. So my whole thing about it is that I just want them to have them. And if nothing else, I wouldn't even modify them. I would completely undo them. I have a Necron. I have the Necron one. And I just want them to have them. It's a way that I get to have my Magic and my Warhammer together without me having, so my girlfriend actually used to paint the models and sell them. But I am an art student, and I am also excessively OCD. I would try to paint Roboot Guilliman and probably rip my hair out. I would probably go insane. So now I get to have, Marnius Calgar, one of his lieutenants, one of his chapter masters of the Ultramarines, as a Magic magic card. I get to have Inquisitor Greyfax as a magic card, or Abaddon the Despoiler, who is the front-facing commander for the Ruinous Powers, but is a huge lore staple of Warhammer 40k. He's a long story short, there was a huge civil war amongst all the Primarchs of 40k, and so the leader of the rebellion died, and his lieutenant Abaddon, Ezekiel Abaddon, became Abaddon the Despoiler, and has done like these crusades to just attack the Imperium for the Ruinous Powers. It's great. Like the lore in 40k. So here's the thing. So Games Workshop has about 20 years, I think, on Magic. Like I think Warhammer started in the late 70s, early 80s, and there's a subsect of Games Workshop called the Black Library, which is a thing in the Warhammer 40k universe. But the Black Library publishes novels. You can go to Barnes & Noble right now, and you can see, everybody has seen these walls of novels. There's tons of Audible audiobooks, and I'm telling you, man, like, have you ever seen Event Horizon? The sci-fi movie? This old sci-fi movie called Event Horizon. It's probably about the closest you're ever going to get to Warhammer in space.
You remember back when you first started playing Magic, they would release those novels?
Yes. Novels came in every, they used to be called fat packs.
Yeah.
And now they're called bundles because, I'm fat, so I'm going to call it a fat pack because I think that's funny. I'm fat, it's fat pack. So books came in fat packs. They can't do that anymore. Because here's the thing, right?
Nobody reads.
Well, not wrong. But the literal product push is so violent and so aggressive. I don't even think Brandon Sanderson, I love Brandon Sanderson as a writer. He did all the Wheel of Times. He finished the Wheel of Times for Robert Jordan, and he does his own books. I don't even think he could do something in that time span. Because you're writing novels and inserting the novels into a fat pack every 3 months. I just don't think it's feasible anymore. That's why they went to lore online, and then that went back and forth all wonky. But yeah.
Those are mostly random.
Yeah.
A couple really. Mostly random.
Yeah, especially like from the Lorwyn days and stuff. Some of the older.
I got some really old stuff in there.
Oh yeah, that's really cool. So again, like this board state is pretty ridiculous. We're running into a very similar example of the Scape Shift matchup with the matchup for mono green against Scape Shift, where you just, or Corvold's Sacrifice, where you just have these walls, just these huge, massive walls of attrition. So we're going to have a Sky Sovereign come in, deal hopefully lethal damage to Karn the Great Creator. Now, technically, while Dalton is not tapped out, it's still very, very unable for him to respond. So we're going to get rid of that. And with Dalton at 6 and all the flyers on board, I don't see where we're going. Now, I do believe Cavalier of Thorns, though, does have reach. So if we check Cavalier of Thorns, yes, so Cavalier of Thorns is a 5/6 with reach. So with 2 of those on the field, it may be somewhat problematic. So I'm trying to see. So it's very curious where this play goes, because the issue is, in order to get the trick for Greasefang, he does have to swing in, which is going to mean that he can just like block Greasefang and kill him. You want to try to get as many value cards out of the graveyard with Greasefang as possible. And I don't even see in the Seeka's Chariot. But also, too, I did notice, so in the graveyard, there is a Can't Stay Away. So Can't Stay Away is, I believe, a white and a black return target creature from your battlefield with converted mana cost 3 or less. So he could just straight swing in, just hoping he kills him. So we're swinging in. So swinging with the team. That is a lot of attacking. So, yep. Yep, so I think, so we're gonna put our combat down. So after the dust settles, Dalton's board is definitely a lot smaller. You still have one old growth troll out. We still have one 5/6 Cavalier of Thorns out. One of Yugo's cards has been glass casketed by the opponent. This is, you want to talk about some Superman, Lobo, just swings for the fences in each other's jaw every single time. I love those sets. I love the Lorwyn sets. All the Lorwyn sets were amazing. Lorwyn, all the like the Lorwyn block. I just love the flavor of those decks. They were so good.
Eventide and Shadowmoor.
Yeah. Lorwyn, Morningtide, Eventide, and Shadowmoor were so good.
My buddy had remember fairies in standard?
Mm-hmm.
Black fairies?
Mm-hmm.
Foiled out the whole. It took him like a year. He foiled the whole deck.
Like, so like spell stutter sprites that are foil were probably like 15 or 20 bucks, right?
Yeah, back then.
Back then.
Yeah.
Not even now. Like, because spell stutter sprite is a pauper staple.
Was that right?
Yeah, so funny enough, we have pauper that fires here every Wednesday. And it's wild. It's so we have more pauper players here for draft than we do have drafters. Yeah, it's great. And one of my friends, a guy, give a huge shout out to our friend Panda, a friend of the store, and just a overall cool cat. He was just basically building pauper gauntlets for people just to, well, I don't know what's good. Well, here's like 10 decks for pauper. Try it out. See what you think. So, but yeah, it was absolutely amazing. So, we're going to go into another attack step. So swinging again with Greasefang. Oh, so now in addition to everything else, I just realized that in addition to everything else, there's a chain veil. So for our sweet listeners, let's go into all of the train wreck that is the chain veil. Chain Veil is a 4-cost legendary artifact that at the beginning of your end step, if you didn't activate a loyalty ability of a walker, you lose 2 life. 4 and tap. For each planeswalker you control, you may activate one of its loyal abilities once this turn as though none of its loyal abilities have been activated. So you just start doing additional triggers, additional loyalty activations. And that could be with Teferi Who Slows the Sunset, Karn the Great Creator. In this case, I think it's also Vraska is on the field right now. It's kind of ridiculous. Now, being at 17 and Dalton being at 2, I think this is just an inevitability at some point. Because honestly, if Yugo could kill enough of his planeswalkers with the Sky Sovereign trigger, Dalton would just lose. Because he loses 2 life without playing a walker. Or without activating the ability of a walker. We're going to activate. Okay, we're going to tap again. So he's going to no. So this is Kiora. No, it's not Braska. I guess it's Kiora Behemoth Beckoner. So Kiora. So we're going to, I guess, the ability on Kiora. I think it's only one loyalty ability on Kiora. Yeah, untap target permanent. So. So most likely you're making a literal Storm Dex amount worth of mana right now.
I ever think that they would reprint the original Walkers, Luke, Andro, Jace?
I mean they could.
I mean, out of all, I mean, Farouk was probably the best one back then.
Yeah.
Or Johnny Coolbeam was really good.
My favorite, well, obviously because I'm an aggro kid, my favorite planeswalker out of those was always Chandra. Like I'm so like or especially my favorite of Johnny is a Johnny Vengeant. Like a Johnny Vengeant is
green and white one.
no a Johnny Vengeant was the red white a Johnny. So I think it was around Shards block where it's just like lightning helix all day. Like yeah, I'm totally down for that. Yeah, I think out of the originals, you see Liliana Vess getting more commander play than any of them as far as formats go. But Garrick in a constructed format, I'd probably say Garrick was probably one of the better ones, especially in green. Now, I mean, now we'll see. Now you have things like Nykthos Shrine to Nyx that came like 5 years later. Like, I mean, some of it could be really prevalent. The funny thing that I've noticed is, you know, a lot of those walkers might not have been good in the day, but then, so for example, Lily of the Veil was only legal in modern. So being only legal in modern, there was caveats to her availability. There were caveats to her price. There were caveats into what format she could be a part of. Well, so now, because they printed her in standard, Liliana of the Veil is legal in every format. She's legal in standard, she's legal in pioneer, and she's legal in modern. No surprise, she's doing work. In standard, mono black is a thing. Today, one of my good friends played mono black control in the pioneer portion. It was hilarious. Like 3 lilies, multiple thought seizes, invoke despairs, just like rip it up. I'm gonna take your hand, rip it up like a phone book. It was crazy. All right, so we're gonna use Greasefang to accrue Sky Sovereign. I need to read Sky Sovereign real quick. It is 6:45. It deals 3 damage to target creature or planeswalker an opponent controls. See, I'd be like, why is he not killing the planeswalker? Because the Chainveil is going to make him lose. So it is a 6/5. So they'll kill each other. He goes down to 1. Holy crap. Alright. Alright, so get rid of the 2 angels. So now we have a Greasefang and Stitcher Supplier. And we're looking at an old growth troll, and on Dalton's side, an old growth troll and a Seekus Chariot. Looks like a token. Looks like a token, a Lenoir Elf, and an Elvish Mystic, and we got 1 counter left on our Kiora Behemoth Beckoner.
For a draft.
Sorry, dude. Are you ever down here during the week for trades and stuff?
During the week,
Yeah.
I drive a semi.
Oh, okay.
I was lucky. I usually get 24 hours off.
Okay. Before we leave, we need to switch info. Yeah, definitely. So that's me. Where do you live? Okay, I grew up in Yadkinville. Is there a card place in Moxville? Because a friend of mine who lives out in like near 601 said there was a thing that said Magic. There's like a in Moxville. Okay, so okay, that's what I thought. Like I remember there being a store out there like 20 years ago. Adam, yeah. On Facebook, if you have Facebook, I'll be under Benjamin Adam. But I don't go by Benjamin unless I'm in trouble for something. So this has been a absolutely crazy game. But I do have to say, to both players' merit, it has been awesome. Hell yeah. Yeah, we'll definitely work some stuff out. Yeah. Yeah, man, good luck with the Warhammer decks. We'll definitely, if you're interested in any of the other ones. Oh yeah.
I was already pulling cards.
Well, it's flavor. It's super good flavor. So that's what I love.
I think the mechanic of that deck is smooth so well.
Yeah.
Gonna make it a little bit better. You know?
Yeah, oh, absolutely. And that's another good thing. Like each deck's gonna have like 40 cards apiece. It's gonna be wild. So like these are one of the few decks that are extremely strong out of the box, which is amazing. But dude, it's a pleasure talking with you. Yeah, thank you. Hope to see you here more.
Yeah,
absolutely.
Too.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah. So now the only good thing is I think there's a board state where if I really have to get Yugo back in the interviewer seat because I think if you kill enough of the planeswalkers that Dalton would just die to the chain veil. Hey, what's up? Because I'm on stream. No, it's the last matchup between Yugo and Dalton. Okay, you're fine. You're fine. I love you. Just text me, baby. So we have. So we're getting rid of that one. Getting rid of that one. So now, at the upkeep, he dies. So at the upkeep, he's supposed to die. Hey, Zach, you want to send Zach my way? I can ask him. All right, so we're going to take Kiora to untap the target permanent for, like, it's going to be like a metric ton of mana for off of Kiora. So, I don't know, 1, 2, 3, 4, at least 7 or 8 mana, at least. And then with the untap trigger, we're going to be able to double that for almost like 16. And then do it again, targeting Kiora for combinations of blue and green mana. So I do have to get the guys back over here because I'm very curious how the counters keep getting put on Kiora Behemoth Beckoner because she only has a down tick. So if she only has a down tick, how are all the additional counters being added? We're gonna walk those 2 walkers out. So I apologize, guys. This is a really weird board state. So it's extremely difficult to commentate because I don't. So I'm not really quite sure how things are working and why things keep getting replayed. You know, I originally wanted to build this deck, but I gotta tell you, like this is rough. Like, I mean, I may just be a dumb mono red player, but I feel like with mono green, you almost have to have an abacus to run this. This is kind of nuts. Because at the end of the day, there's at least 2 flyers that can. Well, no, I don't know what the Yu-Gi-Oh cards are representing. If they're representing, they're probably. I think they're representing the 2/2 cats that come with the Seeker's Chariot. So okay, that's fair. So Dalton is just gonna just sit there and just keep making mana. We're gonna play another Kiora Behemoth Beckoner. Play a Tormod's Crypt. Which Tormod's Crypt could actually be extremely relevant because then it's gonna get rid of everyone's graveyard, including Yugo's. So it's gonna be extremely hard for him to reanimate. And I know, and I'm sure that Yugo is completely exhausted from all of this. I'm not gonna lie, this board state is exhausting me. I'm not gonna lie, chat. This is like extremely rough. Take care, bye. Hey, so we're good? Are we good? Thank you, bud. You too. Take care. Don't let the Bobcats get you. So, alright, so now Dalton's going to be playing his own Sky Sovereign, which is going to make things kind of ridiculous. So it's gonna kill the Abzan Greasefang. Now, if Dalton pops the Tormod's Crypt, this may be it for Yugo. All right, so yeah, I think that's a scoop up from Yugo on this game. Zach, this isn't even the final game, is it?
No, I know.
I think this is just 1-1.
Yeah, I know Yugo just said a second ago, he's like, I'm going to have to get some drinks because he said, this has been an intense game. So
yeah. I mean, I will say to Dalton's merit, like, he really plays wild things.
He does.
Like,
and he plays well. Like,
yeah, he plays. No. He plays extremely well, and this is an example. Like Dalton Osment is the example of a player whose gameplay is so succinct. You can, like, the reason sometimes jank is because it cannot be piloted at 110% all the time, right?
Yeah.
So when he played Pioneer with the Devilish Valet, with the Team of Trigger Warning combo, right? It's so stacky. You gotta be like Levi level of succinct to hit it, and he's hitting it. Because I don't even understand what's going on. How he keeps replaying the walkers, and to me, here's the issue: if Yugo can kill enough of his walkers, he'll kill himself with Chainveil. Because at the end of your end step, if you don't pop an ability of a walker, you lose 2 life. He was at 1 for turns.
Yeah.
And he just managed to keep playing a walker and see the bad part is it's at the end step. So as long as you can sit there and filter through your deck enough to drop 1 down, even if you're killing your old Karn to drop a new Karn, I don't understand how he's drawing through everything. Like, it just got confusing after a point. Like, I needed drinks to just watch him. I got Autumn got me a drink, so I could. Yeah, but I have to pay her because I was like.
No, I mean, like, I think this is. I mean, when you're talking about like the bee's knees and bee's knees, I mean, like, we've got 2 really good players.
Yeah.
And I think this, to me, is like where Magic shines. Like, being able to see into these players' minds, kind of figure out what they're doing, and even in some extent, not even knowing what they're doing. just to show how some of these players just see lines
I mean,
that don't even exist.
I mean, I'm not gonna lie. And I said on the stream, like, I am a simple red creature, but watching that board state was exhausting. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, no.
Like, it's kind of
I don't think
ridiculous.
it's just you. Like, I mean, Yugo literally called me over to get a drink because he was like, I have to, like, take a second here. And so, like,
I get it. Like, I saw you go throw up a Coke bottle, and I was like, you get them carbs, son.
Yeah, no,
you get there. You get them carbs.
I mean, and like, then like, just in like Yugo's defense, like having the mental state to continue through, where your opponent being at one life and you can't push through.
Yeah.
Like, it's one of those things.
Well, and so I think, the end game is that Dalton ended up playing his own Sky Sovereign, and you're done.
Yeah.
Because then, and he had to Tormod's Crypt on the field, so then all Dalton has to do, go to attack, pop Greasefang, pop Tormod's Crypt, no more graveyard, no more recursion, no more can't stay aways, no more can't stay aways on flashback.
No, I mean, and I think this just goes to show you, like, because I mean,
Yeah.
one, we've talked a couple times, like, Karn is just a beast. Like,
I was picking, BobEvans.com, some of Kyle's friends. So Kyle had the boogie board, and he kept saying on the boogie board, Karn, the great creator, should be banned in Pioneer, and he kept like running it up on the camera, like a zoom.
I don't disagree. So Watson, if you're listening, if you're watching, like 100%, Karn just gives so much utility at an interaction of a game. I mean, you're literally being allowed to sideboard in your main game, depending on what you need at that moment.
Yeah.
Like, it's ridiculous. Like, him carning for the Pithing Needle was devastating earlier. Like,
Yeah.
it was just like, okay, cool, awesome.
Yeah, because I mean, me and the young gentleman who was coming in for Infinity Draft, we were talking about, like, I'm not so against Kyle. I would have assumed he would have Pithing Needle Witch's Oven, so he couldn't start looping. But then I was like, oh wait, no, that's Obnixilus, the adversary. Yeah, that's straight up Pithing Needle Obnixilus.
Yeah, no. I mean, and it just shuts down.
Which of these men, like, it creates this really weird wall, because it's like Dalton can't win, but you can't win, and we're not on a time limit.
Yeah.
Like, there you are.
No, I mean, that's the thing.
Fuck.
And
I did cuss one time on stream. I apologize,
good.
because I was just like, I had no other verbiage.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know what I'm looking at.
So,
It's crazy
it
pants.
happens.
But yeah.
So they're at 1-1, right?
I'm guessing so. Like,
Find
there's.
out real quick whether they're doing this.
Well, he hasn't straight up to go run to a restaurant, so I'm sure they're still 1-1.
Yeah, they're 1-1.
Man. So Sarah packed me some stuff, but yeah, I done killed all that a while back. I'm going for. I'll take a thing of chips. Yeah. Yeah, that'd be great. Thank you. I still have some the drink Autumn gave me. Oh, I need to pay Autumn for how much for the drinks and shit. Ooh, and I need to show you something. So I was going to tilt that monitor.
Yeah, oh, it's alright. Yeah.
Okay, so that's not me.
No, it's not. Yes. Yeah, not you.
Good to know. Because there was a cleanup on all three, because I thought it was me. So for anyone who's still listening in the chat and they want a funny story, Adam goes to tilt the computer and the monitor is broken. So I thought I broke the monitor of the computer when I'm working on the stream setup. So just, so everybody is on the same page. Adam did not break company property. So that's awesome. All right. So we got Rafine's informant off on Yugo's side. Just jam Fault C's out. So we're gonna get rid of his card, leave him an Old Growth Troll in hand. Dalton also already has an Elvish Mystic, Lair of the Hydra, a Bark Channel Pathway out, and another card that I'm not sure what it is. And hold on right quick, because I will find out right now for you lovely viewers. Okay, boys and girls, that would be a Wolf Willow Haven that is enchanting underneath the Bark Channel Pathway. So then we got ourselves a temple. Boseiju tapping down for another Storm Festival. So multiple Storm the Festivals going off. So Storm the Festival, for our listeners who do not know, Storm the Festival is 3 colorless and triple green sorcery. Look at the top 5 cards of your library. You may put 2 permanent cards with mana value 5 or less among them onto the battlefield. Put the rest on the bottom of your library in a random order. Oh, good grief. So we're just gonna jam an additional Old Growth Troll and an Elvish Mystic, just for giggles. So, wow. So we're like right off the top, that's kind of insane. So we're gonna tap down, we're gonna flash back the Storm the Festival, draw 5 more cards. All right, this is kind of ridiculous. This, not gonna lie. So, funny story. So, my version of just trying to jam like a Galta on turn 3 is not nearly as good as this, obviously, because I can't not run jank. So. All right, so, I mean, this is just kind of ridiculous. So, on what looks like turn 4 or 5, Dalton has completely blown away the whole board, the whole entire board. Now, Yugo has just fractured Karn the Great Creator, which is great. That makes for some strength right there. Cool. So this didn't name. Okay. All right, so yeah, I think Yugo just scooped it up. I don't really see no way around it. That mono green's just too strong, man. It's a rough time.